guys, welcome to the premiere and probably the only one I'll be doing of Book Talks with Alice. So for this book talk, we are going to be discussing a book that I personally really like and find really interesting. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Other Stories. So this book, well, the stories written in it were actually written by Lewis Carroll, renowned novelist as well as a logician and mathematician. And this book is a compilation of most of his known works, such as Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, Sylvie and Bruno Concluded, A Tangled Tale, Novelty and Romancement, Photographer's Day Out, The Legend of Scotland, and Wilhelm von Schmitz. Now, I know that may sound like a lot, but I won't be talking about all of them. Today, I'm just going to be talking about Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. A bit of a TMI, but my favorite story in this compilation is actually Through the Looking Glass, because I love the concept in the continuation. I'm not using that for this though, because this is a premiere and I feel like I should be talking about the first story in the compilation. So, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland starts relatively fast, I think. It's almost as if you're also dragged into the story as fast as Alice gets dragged into the rabbit hole. So in the story, we follow Alice, who is a young girl, easily bored with the mundane activities of life, and she longs for something more interesting, which she soon finds when she follows a white rabbit in a coat into a hole, which leads her to this strange new world that she has never seen before. We then proceed to follow her through her adventure in this world, where she finds things become extremely strange and defy most of the known laws of physics. And she also finds a bunch of different creatures who can talk. She finds people and animals who actually ate her, or not, through her journey in this new land. Now, speaking of this new land, this story actually takes place mostly in Wonderland, which is a magical fantasy world full of weird and wonderful people and animals, creatures. Wonderland itself is actually a really big space with different areas, such as my own personal favorite, the Queen of Hearts Kingdom. Now, in this story, there are many characters, some of which Lewis Carroll sometimes fails to expand on, but that's the interesting thing of it. Lewis Carroll seems to show more within the little comedic cuts of dialogue rather than it does in the actual parts where most people would find the semblance of character analysis. But from what I've gathered, the characters that most people know and who are seemingly bigger players in the story would actually be obviously Alice herself, who at first she's very orderly, but then she soon realizes that the world is actually much more different from what she thought it to be due to her adventure in Wonderland. Then we obviously have the White Rabbit, who is very frantic and manic. I'm going to show you him right here. That's the White Rabbit. Yeah, that's him. And he actually is the first character, the first creature who leads Alice into Wonderland. Next we have the Queen of Hearts, not to be confused with the Red Queen from the sequel, Through the Looking Glass. Now, the Queen of Hearts, she is very furious and rageful. She's easily angered by anyone and everyone. And you guys might know one of her most famous lines, "Off with your head!" And then we have the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts is a bit more timid and kind of unlikable, but he lacks the Queen's rage, and he mostly basically undoes her sentences. There are other characters, such as the Cheshire Cat, who I'll be talking more about later. He seems to understand the strange logic of Wonderland, and he explains it to Alice. Then we have the Duchess, who is the Queen of Hearts' sister. She starts out mean towards Alice, but then becomes nice in a bit of an unnerving way. Then you have the Caterpillar, who treats Alice with contempt. He smokes. And then there's the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, the Dormouse, and many more. So basically, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg when we're talking about characters. Now, if we're talking about favorite characters, I'd have to say that my favorite character would actually have to be the Cheshire Cat. I think he's a really, really fun character. He can disappear and reappear at any time he wants. He's very mischievous, he's full of mystery, and he's seemingly the only one who understands the concept of Wonderland, and he explains it to Alice. And in turn, Alice herself seems to be quite fond of the Cheshire Cat. I myself like him because he's really unique, and I adore his way with words. I think he's really cool in the way that he manages to find some loopholes through sentences, and the mysterious aspect of him is what keeps me entertained. This is what he looks like. Speaking of the Cheshire Cat, he's actually the character that says the lines that resonate the most with me. So I'm gonna read it for you guys. Alice starts with a question. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. So long as I get somewhere, Alice added as an explanation. Oh, you're sure to do that, said the cat. If only you walk long enough. Now, to me, this line resonates a lot because I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I don't really know where I want to go or where I want to be in the future, and I just want to go somewhere, be able to live my life to the fullest. And so what he said kind of just really makes sense to me, because if I go in a certain direction for long enough and follow wherever I just want to go, I'll be sure to eventually find a destination. And after all, the journey is the main thing that we should always be focusing on. My favorite part of the book, though, would have to be the Mad Tea Party. I love the way the conversation flows between Alice, the Hatter, and the March Hare and the Dormouse. It's so incredibly weird and fantastical in such a fun way, and it keeps me interested in the whole dialogue, even if some readers might find text like this really long. I think the whole chapter where they're having a tea party just really adds a lot of fun, as much fun as the whole book already is. Here's what it looks like. This one. Yeah, I just really love it so much. It's so cute and fun. There's even this part where the Hatter is actually telling Alice, "Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky." It's just a fun twist on Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and I just really like it so much. In conclusion, I just really, really like this book. Actually, specifically this story, because it's such an interesting draw on the more mundane aspects of life. And if it's read more thoroughly, there's a lot of deeper meanings to it where you might not look the first time you read it. And the characters, though sometimes not expanded enough on, they actually show a lot of characters through their dialogues and their short meetings with Alice. And it really makes me think that this world is more than just a boring space, because with our own imagination, we can actually just expand it into so much more, and we can definitely make the most of it. I would totally recommend this book to my friends or even to adults who want to read something that's really fun and exciting, because it helps you play with your imagination in a better way. And though people might think it's aimed for children, it doesn't stop the possibility of adults really enjoying it as well, with the fact that it's just really well written and it has really understandable text. It also has a lot of cute illustrations. They look very, very nice as well, and they help you visualize the world that you're seeing if you don't want to visualize it yourself. But yeah, so I had a wonderful time reading it, and I hope that this video pushes you to try and read this story from this book. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little book talk with Alice, and I will see you guys next time in a different episode or in another video. Bye bye.